Ohayo gozaimasu. Watashi wa FiyahKitteh, also known as Man. Hi, and welcome back to my new awesome Let's Play of Nakayoshi. Or rather, the full title is Panic in Nakayoshi World. Sometimes also called Panic in Nakayoshi Land. I've seen that a few times before. Anyways, so what is this game? Well, obviously it's something that is originally Japanese. You're lucky that you're seeing English text here because, you know, patches and stuff make it possible, because I figured it would be more interesting for you guys to see an actual English text. So, what is the super story to this game, and what is this game anyway? Alright, so there's your typical, well, damsel in distress slash princess being kidnapped story. Sounds kind of familiar. I don't know why. Weird, odd. And, well, we are in Nakayoshi Land, which, by the way, Nakayoshi means close friend or good friend. And I'm going to say a bit more about that in a bit. And yeah, we have 4 heroines here that I'm going to, well, present a bit better in a bit. And, well, some of you might know 1 or 2 of them. However, quick info beforehand. Nakayoshi is a Japanese, well, magazine where they print mangas before they come out, usually, you know, like for promo or to see how it's going with people, kind of like that. And all the mangas to the 4 heroines you can play in this game have been printed in that, well, in that magazine. So then they came up to make came up with the idea to make a game for it. So, and this is pretty much it, or one of the many. There are a lot of Nakayoshi related games. It's a pretty big magazine over in Japan, at least, Asia in general. So it's really old too. It came out in the 50s. So, go and figure. All right, we are starting the game here because this was the whole intro. Sorry if anybody wanted to read, but I wanted to introduce you to this thing. Alright, here's the start screen. You can pick between story, battle for 2 people, just battle, and the options. You can pick from a few different settings here. I think all they do is to change the amount of items that you can get, so let's go with normal here. Alright, so story. This is going to be post-commentary, by the way, because I have a few surprises for you guys. Alright, here, you can either go with new game or old game, which lets you input a password. I'm going to give you all the passwords to all the stages. And here, let's pick our character. Alright, so there are 4 characters you can pick from. We have Kurumi from Kurumi to Nana Nirikochi Butachi, which means, well, Nana and the 7 Dwarfs. It's kind of a story based on Snow White, pretty much. Unfortunately, I didn't find the anime of that yet, so it's kind of old. Those are all old animes. Then we have Lapiko from Kingyo Chou, and, well, she is really cool. I'm currently watching that right now, so, you know, it's pretty cool. Then we have Nagisa-chan from Chou, Kuse ni Narisou. I'm currently watching that anime with Lucky70X, actually. Hi, Lucky. I'm actually also watching the Wapiko one. By the way, it means goldfish warning. The Kingyo one means goldfish warning. Chou, Kuse ni Narisou means I'll make a habit of it. And that's the one I'm watching with Lucky. I'm watching the Wapiko one by myself mostly. It has 35 episodes. The one with Nagisa has 16, so, you know. Alright, and then last but not least, we have one that you all should know from my last, well, from my second last LP. Sailor Moon. Bishoujo Senshi Sailor Moon. Well, Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon. It's that simple. Alright, and throughout the worlds, there's 5 worlds with 6 stages each. You have to rescue a bunch of, well, NPCs. In the first world, it's gonna be, or rather, it's gonna be the princess in the first world. She doesn't belong to any of these animes. It's just the princess of Nakayoshi World. Then, if you go ahead, you have to rescue Prince Charming. I don't know his name, unfortunately, because there's barely any info on Kurumi and the 7 Dwarfs. unfortunately. So that's basically, well, can we call him Kurumi's boyfriend? Then, if you go to Wapiko stage, you have to save Gyopi, the little goldfish. In Nagisa's case, you have to save Nosaka-kun, which is, well, her boyfriend, really. And in Sailor Moon's case, if you couldn't tell, Sailor Chibi Moon. What else did you expect? Alright, so let's keep going here. Let's pick Nagisa because I want to play with Nagisa. It doesn't really matter who you pick. They have different attacks. Alright, before we go anywhere though, here I want to show you the quick item overview, like what items you can pick up in all the stages. That would be, well, extra lives, like either 1 or 2, the stars that give you strength and extra speed, the clock that freezes time, or you know, the movement of your enemies. Anyways, you can still move around. Then we have a shield, which stops after a while. It's just gonna be there for a little bit. It's gonna just help you, and even if you get hit, or I think even run into enemies, it's not gonna do you anything. However, it's just for you, it's not for the NPC you have to save, so watch out there. Then we have extra strength. So it basically, whenever you die, you lose the strength of your attacks, and this would prevent it if you have an extra container, which is that sun item. So you're gonna see that in the game. I do not know what the moon does. Apparently nobody knows what the moon does. Maybe we're gonna figure out. If I do figure it out, I'm gonna put this here as soon as I know. So then we have that block that item that turns every single block into fruit, which means if you hit it once, or if the enemies hit it once, it's gonna be destroyed. It's technically a good block, or a good item if you don't have the most powered up you know, weapon, but it's also kinda because the enemies, I mean, shoot at it once and you're pretty much exposed. Last but not least, the unlucky cat, which is mostly in the last world, and it's equal to being hit by an enemy. It makes you do really weird stuff. You're gonna see what I'm talking about in just a little bit. Alright, so now that we're all caught up, let's go into this with Nagisa-chan. She's awesome. I like her a lot. So, World 1. And we are going to start out, as I said, saving the princess. So what you have to do, this is basically like Super Bomberman on Super Nintendo, which is a game I have LP'd co-op before. And what you have to do is, well, you don't have to break all the blocks, however, it's recommended since there's a lot of really nice items, obviously. And you would like those, I'm sure, especially those stars that power up your weapon. By the way, on the bottom screen, those 3 dots are basically to show you your weapon strength and all that stuff. So then we have lives and the princess crying. That's what happens if you leave her standing there for too long. She starts crying. I'm not sure if that gives you less points or anything, but yeah. Anyways, that door that just appears happens if you've killed about 10 enemies. You have to kill 15 enemies in each stage to advance. However, there's 2 ways to end the stage. Either you kill about 10 enemies and go through the door, or you kill all 15 enemies and advance automatically, which is what I'm mostly trying to go for, because going through the door is basically kind of like cheaping out for me anyways, and I kind of want a challenge, you know? So, trying to go for that. Alright, so there are these normal blocks that you can hit with, or that you can destroy by hitting them 3 times, unless your weapon is maxed out. And then there are those other blocks that you can just hit from a certain direction. There are also certain items, like crystals in this world, that you can only destroy if your weapon is maxed out. So, or, of course, if you pick up an item that changes all the blocks into fruit, it's gonna affect all the blocks. By the way, if you have the NPC behind you and you want to like drop them somewhere, you can press the Y button, and what that does, here is one of those blocks, by the way, that turns everything into fruit, except we just have 2 blocks left in this case. If you press Y, you can drop the NPC again. However, you want to drop them in a safe place. And sometimes it gives you advantages because you can, you know, go through certain obstacles that you couldn't go through before because you had the NPC. For example, you can walk over certain, like in this level, there's those little bumps in the floor. You can only walk over those if you are alone, not if you have an NPC. There's also going to be warp fields, which you can only access if you don't have an NPC behind you. And, you know, sometimes it's just nice to drop your NPC somewhere to keep them safe, to make room, or if you have to go in an area that is full of enemies or whatever. You can also, if you see those pink, well, what are those? I guess walls where the water flows through, or whatever it's supposed to be. If you don't have an NPC, if you press Y, you can hop over those walls. But again, you can only do that if you don't have an NPC behind you. So, yeah, for quick access, that's pretty good. Also, ouch, getting hit. What you want to do when you get hit, especially if the princess or your NPC is there somewhere in the middle of a monster nest, you want to get to them really fast, because if the NPC gets hit, especially if it gets physically hit, like with physical contact, not just with a projectile, you pretty much lose a life, and you don't want that. If your NPC just gets hit, you can get one of a few status changes. There's stuff like, you know, walking slower, walking super fast, not being able to shoot, or reverse directions. That's a very obnoxious one. So, you know, you want to watch out. You don't want your NPC to get hit. Also, this is one of those instances where I was talking about earlier. I don't have the maxed out shot right now, and I'd be stuck within these walls because they can't go anywhere. So what you want to do here is you actually have to drop the NPC at some point, because there's no way I can go. You can't walk through those bumps. The crystals are blocking me. Those one-way direction blocks are blocking me. This is one of those scenarios where you really want to drop your NPC somewhere safe, which would be behind those crystals, or because the enemies can't shoot through those ever. The enemies can't shoot through any of those special blocks that you can only annihilate with your maxed out shot. So, oh god, and that was dumb of me because I literally walked into the enemy. See? You can get hit like that too if you're just being dumb and just walk into the enemy even though they're frozen, stuck. Well, you lose a life. The end. Well, heads up, I guess, if you do lose all the lives, you can still keep playing because you gotta continue. If you click yes, anyways. If you pick yes, stop whining, man. If you choose no, what it's gonna do is, yeah, well, you're gonna game over, and you're gonna get a password for whatever world you're in. Obviously, I'm not even sure if there's one for World 1, I don't think so, but for the other worlds, if you wanna come back later, that would be handy. Also, that guy, it spawns if you have like 20 seconds left. You have 1 minute for each stage. If you have 20 seconds left, that little ghost will spawn, and it's gonna haunt you. So don't get hit by it. It's just when you know you really have to freaking hurry the hell up. So, let's go. This is the stage before the boss. It's a power-up stage. What you want to do is just destroy those, well, chocolate tablets, I guess, or something, and pick up any items that will help you, you know, to make the boss easier, like maxing out your shot, one-ups, or you name it. The moon that I don't know what it does yet. Just you gotta hurry up because the timer is kind of low, so my shot's already maxed out here. So this is the stage you get before every boss fight. So this is the 5th stage in every world, and then we move on to the boss. I'm actually not sure if this one is from any of the animes. I think not. The other ones, the other bosses seem to be... Yeah, I was really smart there. The other bosses seem to be partially from the animes that you can pick the characters from, but I'll talk about these whenever we get there or so. And this is it. I had the maxed out shot, so you can ace this thing really quickly, actually. Luckily. There we go. And this is the first world, pretty much. Let's get our total score here. I'm going to change the characters for each world, so you get to see them all and how they play and what powers they have. So you know, so it doesn't get boring, and also so you can just see all of them in action. So yeah. All right. So let's stop here for now. I hope you're having fun so far, and there's gonna be a few guests in the next parts of this Let's Play, so I'm really looking forward. And as always, thanks for watching, thanks for joining, and see you next time. Bye!